Alrighty guys, welcome back. This is your host Jester playing Normandy 44 by GMT Games here in the Vassal module. We are on to the German combat phase. So we did the replacements, which was none. We did the movement phase last turn. Now we're up to German combat phase. We would then go to the German reserve movement phase, which we won't have any. The German reserve combat phase, which we won't have any. The German recovery phase, and then the German supply phase. So we'll be able to finish the German turn pretty quickly and easily in this episode, because there's not going to be that many attacks. So let's take a look at our current situation here. So we've got a lot of nice 82nd paratroopers out here. The only one that really got damaged is this one down here. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to it, couldn't reach to it. We could attack across here, but that's not going to be very good. So we're going to have to take on this full unit of paratroopers and do our attack with them. So we're going to assign the 91st Division, which is going to allow us the 1057th there, 4 points, and the 1050, the third of the 1057th is going to give us 2 points. We're going to assign the silhouetted tank unit to be part of that unit, so it will give us full attack value. Unfortunately, the FE2 of the 243rd Division is only going to give us half firepower. So it's going to give us 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 firepower there from this attack. The American player is here. His strength is a 4, but he's also in a Bocage hex. So if we look at our charts here on the Bocage, the Bocage will give you a maximum of 3 defensive bonus. And since he's got a strength of 4, he will take the full 3. So that's going to give him a 7. So defense of 7 and an attack of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 versus 7 is going to round to 1-to-1. We could throw this unit in, but he'd only be half firepower. And even though he's the 91st Division, but he is attacking across the flooded hex side, which means, or across that minor river, as a matter of fact, there too, which means he'll only be half strength. So with that 9, it would be 11 versus 7, which isn't going to get us to our 14 we really need. So there's no sense in throwing him in this attack as well. So 1-to-1 odds. And now let's look at our column modifiers. So tank bonus, you can see we have a tank. The defenders do not have a tank. So we will get a +1 column shift because of that bonus. We'll also throw in some artillery up here from, what's this location? Barqueca. This headquarter only moved 1 hex, so it didn't flip over to its U side, or Mu side. So it can supply artillery if it's within 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just barely into the hex where we need it. So we'll get an artillery shift as well. So if we look at our charts here, we start at the 1-to-1 column. We get a +1 shift for the tank, and then we also get a +1 shift because of artillery. So we're going to be on the 3-to-1 column for this attack. So let's scoot this aside and roll a dice. And hopefully for the German player, he can roll high. Otherwise, this is going to turn into a disaster really quickly. So let's see what we get here for the German player. He rolled a 2, not great. So that's going to be an EX, which stands for exchange. Each side loses a step. The unit that takes the step loss is determined by the opposing player. However, the defender must select a unit from the attacker's main assault force. No retreat. If the defender has only 1 step involved, then the attacker qualifies for a limited advance. A normal advance in any direction is prohibited. So, terrible roll for the Germans. They really needed to get 3 or higher cause a retreat or some damage to that unit. But in exchange, so the airborne is going to lose a step. And obviously now the American player can choose which unit to cause this step loss in, but it has to be part of the main assault force, which is the 91st Division, or that tank that was attached. And if we flip this over, oh, it's only a 1. Oh, it's only a 1. There is no step loss on this. So if he took that tank out, that would definitely help. So he's going to, we're going to send this to the cadre. So the step loss is going to come from the tank. Yeah, there is no backside to that. And no retreat necessary. So, things are not going well for the Germans here. And it's just going to get worse as more and more American units come on. So their next attack could be this Ost unit, this unit, and these units could attack this one. That's going to be a 3, plus 3 because he's in the bocage. We give him a defensive value of 6. And if they chose the 6 FJ, the Fallschirmjäger paratroopers, as the lead unit, that would be 7, 8, 9. So 9 versus 6, but no shifts. No shifts for armor. This headquarters moved more than one space, so it flipped to its move side. I forgot to do that in last episode, but I did catch that before we started this recording. So it won't be able to provide artillery support, and we don't have to worry about the troop quality. So it'd just be a straight 1-to-1 shot. So 1, 2, and 3 would be bad. 4, 5, and 6 would be okay. The best they can get is a defender retreat option, which would make him disrupted. But what other? So defender retreat. We got an exchange, and then we got an attacker taking. Got a 50% chance of us losing a step. Just doesn't seem like it's worth the effort, to be honest. Yeah, the best we could do is these 3 units, or we could do this one, and this one against this guy. He would be a 4 plus 3 for the bocage, so he'd have a defense of 7. We can count the 91st as the main assault force. That would be 4, 5, 6, and this guy would only count for half. So that would be 7 versus 7. Again, it'd be a 1-to-1. So we would have a 50% chance. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like the thing to do is the Germans. So let's look down here. Unfortunately, the Americans have such strong units. That would be a total defense, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's see. I'm not even sure if you count the tank, but even if we don't count the tank, that's an 11 plus 2. That would be a 13. And yeah, we can't count those units in brackets. So yeah, we would have not very good attack there either. Not good. This unit here would have 6 versus a 12 defense. No, 14 because of the what's it called? Broken or mixed? Yeah, which give them two bonus there. So that's not a very good attack. There's a nice strong Panzer unit there, but unfortunately that anti-tank unit doesn't get to attack, so it'd just be a 6 plus 1 for 7 versus a, oh, good lord, 6, 6, 1, nope. So it looks like the only other American attack is going to be against this British paratrooper over here, part of the 6th Division, the 8th platoon of the 3rd Battalion, something like that. He does have these units here, which we will assign the 21st as the main assault force, which will give us a full value for all these units, so that would be a 12. The defense is going to be 2, plus he's in the mix, which is 2, which is 4. So it's 12 versus 4, or 3-1. Same column we were just on a minute ago. There's no sense in throwing this guy in because he's not going to make any difference in the attack. He'd only count for 1 point because he's attacking out of a flooded hex. So he's only add 1 point. So if we were like 11 and we needed that extra point, then we can throw him in. But I don't see a reason why we should throw him in now. So again, that's 12 versus 4 is 3-1. Let's see what we can do on the 3-1 column. 3, not great again. 3 is DR. So DR is defender must retreat and conduct a determined defense. If the defender retreats, they become disrupted. The attacker may advance after combat if the defender retreats. So they will, let's see. This is going to be an interesting question. I'm going to have to look this up because I know if you retreat in the bocage, you can stop. But I don't think you can stop in the mixed area, which means he would have to retreat 2 spaces. So that would be 1. And if he ends up adjacent, these guys don't have zones of control, so he could retreat there. That is true. I was thinking if he went there, that would be in an enemy zone of control. So he could go 1-2 because those are not, they do not exert zone of controls. Yeah, he will retreat. I don't think he needs to put up a determined defense at this point, which means we can advance 1, 2. And we will stop at that point. So I believe that is going to be all of our attacks. Let's just make sure I'm not missing one. I know there wasn't much for the American to do because the German player, because the Americans landed pretty unscathed on all of the beaches. They got all their units. Hardly any of them took any step losses, which is going to keep them with big firepower numbers. It's just going to be really hard for the Germans, but you never know. We'll see how things go. But that's it. I believe that is going to be the turn for the Germans. So again, we will go to the we would go to the reserve movement phase. We didn't put anybody in reserve, so we don't have that. We would go to the German reserve combat phase. Again, we don't have anybody in reserves. We go to the recovery phase. And in the recovery phase, we would remove disrupted counters and a few other counters, which I don't think we have any on anybody. So we don't have to worry about that. And then check for German supply, check for supply, check for isolation, and improved positions. We don't have any improved positions. I think everyone's in supply. I don't think at this point in the game the Americans haven't been able to do anything to cut us off of any kind of supply, so I think we're all good. So then the next would be to switch over to, where's our charts? There, over to the American player. So the American player will go through the same things. We will have the American replacement phase, which we will ignore in the first turn. We'll have the American movement phase. We will have the American combat phase, the reserve movement phase. I have to find out when their units come on. I believe it's during the initial phase. I think they come on during the initial phase. I'll have to check that in between episodes. But there you go, short and sweet. Germans, not too successful. They caused a step loss here. They took a step loss of tanks, and then they caused a retreat by the paratroopers from the 21st Panzer Division. And that Panzer Division went towards Caen to help secure that location. So, we'll see you all in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you later.